Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our WebEx session. I am Kamal Makai from the channel team, and on today I will moderate and present on our events because Mai is on vacation. On today, the WebEx session's topic is getting started with Symantec MSSP Portal. In the next 60 minutes, on the presentation level and on the browser level, I will share you the details of the planned topic. The event, as always, will be recorded, and later we will share the recording link with you. If you have any question, because you are muted and you cannot unmute yourself, please use the chat window. I try to follow meanwhile I'm presenting, but we will have a dedicated Q&A session. So part of that we can clear out the open questions. Now, let me to share my screen and let's see the topic. So today, I will share you the details about the MSSP program, high-level details of the MSSP program. And I will show you that how it's working and how you can manage the tenants. But before we start, and before I show you the solution, let's talk about first that what is itself the MSP or MSSP, and what is the business model this behind. So itself the MSP means that managed service provider, or the MSSP, managed security service provider. Sometimes I will use the MSP, sometimes I will use the MSSP terminology. Typically, if you are talking about the partners, because we talk about the cybersecurity solution, we expect that itself the partner will provide a security service for the customers. So typically I will use the MSSP, but please don't be confused if I use the MSP terminology. In our case, this is the same or similar, only the cover territories are different because the MSP is much more wide. In this case, we can talk about the traditional system integration and maintenance, not just on the security level or the traditional infrastructure level also. So let's see the difference between the traditional sales model and the MSSP model. So in case of the traditional sales model, what means this? You are a partner, you have a customer, the customer appears with the requirement, they declare sometimes a vendor or they need a solution, and on your side, depending on the requirements or depending on the situation can be, for example, how you can make integration with the newly implemented solution or the planned solution. So a lot of dependency that can be this behind. But in case of the traditional sales model, we can talk about a traditional license transaction. So you are selling a license for the customer. Optionally, we can talk about the system integration because sometimes the customer, the technology is new. And on the beginning, they don't want to learn how they need to implement or how they can implement. As a next step, you can continue the journey together. So for example, as an external outsourced service, you can manage, you can update, you can resolve the issues. And if you see any issue about the solution, then you can create a ticket, you can escalate to the support. But from the technical side, it's easy. So I believe not necessary to explain much more deeper or go deeper in this topic. But if you're talking about the financial part, and in this case, this is a significant difference comparing to the MSP model. The discount level, for example, is depending on your deal size. How many licenses sold to the customer? 100 or 100,000. Or The discount level is depending on your partnership level. So if you are a tier 1 partner, your by default discount level is much more bigger comparing to the tier 2 level partners or to the registered partner levels. So here the dependency is huge. And we are not talking about that how, for example, the vendor supporting you to maintain the solution. So if you're talking about the MSSP model, in this case, for example, you can decide that how you want to charge your customer, monthly, annually. You can figure out that how you will implement the solution. Moreover, it's at the license. In our case, in the Broadcom MSP model, belong to the MSSP provider. And depending on the negotiation, because if you want to be the MSSP partner at Broadcom/MBCom, then we need to sit down and we need to create a business plan that how many licenses will be sold by you in the next 1 year. And through this, we can figure out the discount level, which is maybe or typically much more better than the standard discount level, depending again or independently from your partnership level. Part of the monitoring, we can give you the tool. We can give you a console where you can continuously monitor your customers, customer tenants. You can delegate an access for your newly hired colleagues. Or if you face an issue, so for example, you are opening a ticket, you need to open a ticket, then we can give you a special type of support. So as you see, comparing to the traditional sales model, a lot of additional benefit coming with the MSSP model. Better pricing, better discount level, higher value of the solution. Because in our case, we have some requirement I will explain for you. But itself, the customer can be sure that if you are a managed security service provider, then you can give a value and you have a knowledge to create a secure environment. And through the knowledge, you can keep the system updated. You can continuously overview the policies because you know that what are the actual trends, attacking trends on the field. You have a knowledge that how you can configure accordingly the system. So basically, this is a win-win situation in case of the customer and the partner relationship. And through this, this is a win-win situation between you and between Broadcom/MBCom. Now let's see that what are the requirements part of the MSSP. So if you decide that you want to onboard and you want to provide this type of service, then we have some requirements because you know the quality of the service is very important here. So you can be a trusted advisor on the customer side, but on our side, we need to be sure that if you are a managed security service provider, then you can give a quality service for them, not just on the cybersecurity level, that you can create a configuration to handle itself the system and handle the customer inquiries, the employee inquiries also. So this is what you see on the screen. The first requirement, if you want to be an MSSP partner, is a minimum $100,000 annual commitment. But this is not mandatory. This is a baseline. If you cannot commit this number, don't be shy, don't worry. Feel free to contact with us. We can sit down because case by case, partner by partner, we can figure out the right solution. We can figure out the numbers. We can figure out the business plan together, and we can help you. And through this, we can determine, for example, the discount level for you. So the minimum $100K is a baseline amount. If you cannot commit this number, feel free to contact with us. And this will be the last step additional terms and conditions will be determined. Certification. So if you are a MSSP, then we expect that you know how the system is working, how the product is working, how you can configure according to the system. So in this case, you need to be certified. We will declare for you that what type of certification and certification level needed. And naturally, you need to cover itself the product. So if you are providing the DLP cloud and SaaS complete cloud service for your customer, then naturally, in this case, the cloud proxy certification is not relevant. So you need to be certified on the affected products. Call center. The call center is important. Why? Because if the customer faces an issue, for example, the service is not working, the agent is malfunctioning, or they have any other issue, itself the MSSP partner need to be able to receive the calls or need to provide a ticketing system. So itself the customer, the end user, need to be able to report the issues for the partner. And through this, can provide SLA-based service, receive the issue, create a ticket, escalate the issue if necessary, or they can resolve if the issue is not bug-based or not depending on the bug. So a simple configuration change will resolve the issue. So the call center is a mandatory requirement. And we can talk about a lot of additional things, but unnecessary to explain now. My recommendation that if you see the benefit to become an MSSP partner, then please contact with us. We can initiate a discussion. We can go through the numbers. We can go through on your plans. We can go through on your certification plan. We can go through on what type of product you prefer to offer on the field, and we can declare the additional and customized terms and conditions for you, and then you can be onboarded. So on the high level, these are the steps that, or these are the requirements that how you can be the MSSP partner. Now let's go a little bit deeper and let's see that how is working itself the onboarding. So negotiation done. Everybody signed the contract. You are an MSSP partner. What is the next step? In this case, the distributor, the preferred distributor, place an order. So submit the order of the MSSP portal. Because this is an SKU, this is in the price list if you check the price list. Itself, the service will appear on the support portal. So you will see the license information of this portal. And after the distributor submitted the order, this license will be assigned to you as an MSSP partner. Then you will receive a welcome email that from now you can access to the MSSP portal. The short name of this portal, PCC. I will use this terminology in the next slides. And the PCC, this is a partner command center, will give you the opportunity to handle your customer tenants. But this is empty by default. So if you onboard it, and if you can log in, because the portal is available, it will be an empty portal. So you will see the menus, but you won't see here your customers. So the next step, if you are a partner who is providing a long time ago a service for the customers, that you are giving the list of the customers, and then we assign the customer tenants to your MSSP portal. Naturally, because we are a security company, if we release the request or we assign the customer tenant to the MSSP portal, the system automatically release an email to the customer to the tenant owner that this MSSP partner would like to get an administrator full access to the tenant. If the partner handle and manage this tenant, no problem, because in the loop you will receive this email, you will approve, and from that time itself the customer tenant will appear on the console. If the customer maintain, then naturally you need to inform in advance that they will receive this email and they need to approve this request. Otherwise, you cannot manage. Itself, the tenant won't appear on the MSSP portal. What will happen if you are a new MSSP partner? So you don't have any customer, you start the journey from scratch, you are a new partner, but you like the Symantec solutions, the cybersecurity solutions, and you decide that you want to offer these solutions on the field. In this case, everything is same or similar. So you receive the access to the partner portal, partner command center. We are delivering for you the licenses, but this is depending on the negotiation that we will deliver the full number of the license, which was negotiated part of the MSSP partnership, or we just deliver the necessary number of the license. And as the new customers are coming, we are giving you more and more license, and then you can provision the tenants for your customers. But in this case, because you will be the contact, by default, you will receive the notification, and without any risk, you can approve the request, and your newly onboarded customer tenant will appear on the console, and you can manage. In this case, you can get the full access to the tenant. So if you are talking about the cloud proxy solution, then you can have an administrator, right? And actually, you cannot change or you cannot fine-tune the roles. This is an administrator role, so you will have a full access to the customer. As I mentioned, this is a software as a service solution provisioned by Broadcom, so it's running in the cloud. The licensing is subscription-based, depending on the MSSP contracting terms. The minimum license period is 1 year. And actually, we don't see any reason that for one MSSP partner need more than one tenant, partner command PCC, partner command center tenant. So by default, we deliver only just one tenant, more than enough, because within this you will see all of your customers. You see the SKU on the screen, but this is just technical information for you. And part of the invitation, you will see that it's at the URL is a partner.security.com. So this is on a high level that how we deliver the license, or how we deliver the access to the partner command center, and what is the technology, and how we assign to the partner command center the customers. Later, on the other side, we will go through this again from the different viewpoint. And when we initiate the discussion with the partners, it's always a question that what type of functions covered by the partner command center, what they can do in the portal. Let's see first that what the PCC is not. In the partner command center, you cannot change the configuration of the tenants. So for example, if the customer is coming to you that need to create a new malware policy, or need to change the endpoint detect and response EDR configuration, then you cannot do this from this console. This is not a main function of the console. So in this case, you need to open the traditional web console of the cloud solution, in this case, the ICDM, the SaaS Complete Cloud Console. And in this console, you can change the configuration. So in the PCC, you cannot change the configuration. Sometimes it's a requirement because a new attacking vector is appearing on the world that suddenly need to apply a bug change in every customer tenant. You cannot do this. So this is not a hardening tool, or not a centralized configuration management tool. So if you need to apply any new hardening policy, new hardening configuration, then 101, you need to open the customer tenants and you need to change the configuration. In the PCC, and this is by design, don't ask me that why, you cannot manage your environment. So for example, as a partner, you are using the Symantec cybersecurity solutions, then from here, you cannot manage your environments. Your means that your colleagues, the employees, the partners' employees, using or running the agents and the company continuously protected by Symantec technology. So in this case, because we are talking about managed security service solution, it's not covering your environments. So this is only for your customers. And maybe the most important thing that this is not a CM tool and this is not a XDR tool. So you won't have a dashboard. You won't see the centralized or correlated logs, which is coming from the different tenants, from the different customer tenants. So if you see any anomaly, or you want to centralize the cyber attack dashboard, for example, then you need to use a dedicated solution. You need to collect the logs from the individual customer tenants with this tool, with this third-party tool, for example, and then you can get the visibility. There you can correlate the information, there you can generate the alerts, and part of the XDR, there you can correlate the incidents. Now let's see that what is the partner command center. This product developed by the ESG division. This is a cybersecurity enterprise security group, cybersecurity group. And itself, the PCC is a software as a service solution and can manage only the software as a service solutions. So for example, you cannot manage from the PCC the on-premise DLP. You cannot manage the on-premise set manager. This system can cooperate, can be integrated only with supported ESG services. Naturally, the company continuously develops, so who knows that what the future will bring. But actually, this software as a solution can manage only the ESG software as a solutions products. Itself, the PCC make visible the tenants and the environments. I show you that how it's working. Basically, we talk about products, we talk about environments. Environments can be in Europe, can be in the United States. It's depending on that what you choose when you provision, for example, a new DLP cloud tenant. Naturally, you can audit that what is happening in the MSSP. Why is it important? Because if you are a serious MSSP partner, then you need to trace back that what happened. You need to provide change control or tracing back that who changed what in the MSSP console. Because what will happen on tomorrow, something happened, cybersecurity incidents, and unfortunately, somebody internally made a mistake, or itself the attack was executed by the internal person. So not just the traditional ESG products or the Symantec products gives the opportunity to audit and continuously control that what happened in the tenants. Itself, the partner command center, and I will show you that how it's working, and what you see on the screen, continuously monitoring that what the employees are doing in the console. Optionally, you can make easier the authentication. So for example, if you have a centralized authentication system, Active Directory, for example, then you can make integration, and through this itself the authentication to the PCC console or to the customer tenants much more easier, and you don't need to keep up a additional user account. And instead, the PCC, and maybe this is the most important function of the solution, gives the high-level overview of the licenses of your customers, gives information about the environments, and gives information that who can have an access to the customer tenants. I will show you on the console level that how it's working. And just a short summary that what is the main goal of the Partner Command Center? Basically, you can centralize your management console. From the one single screen, you will see that how many customers you have, what type of software managed by you, and with a single click, you can jump into the customer tenant and you can do the necessary change or the necessary task in the customer tenant. Itself, the solution give you the visibility, and believe me, much more efficient to manage the customer tenants through this solution. And then the typical question is that, okay, we would like to use the Partner Command Center, but what type of solutions supported by this solution? As I mentioned, the PCC itself is a software as a service solution provided by Broadcom, and support to manage the CloudSwig, naturally the CloudSwig Express tenants, the Secure Access Cloud tenants, a SaaS Enterprise / SaaS Complete tenant, but in this case, we talk about only the ICDM console, which is a cloud-based management console of this of the endpoint protection solution. Naturally, you can manage the enterprise console. This is a single console solution of the software as a service products. And the CBX, but this is on the roadmap because it said the CBX is not released. It will be released or officially you can purchase and you can sell for your customers on 3rd of August. But itself, the solution will support to manage your CBX tenant from the MSSP portal. The number and the type of the supported solution will grow or will be extended. I cannot give you, unfortunately, a roadmap information, but if you overview that what type of solution supported, I believe that this is more than enough on the beginning. Moreover, it's covering the most popular solution, which is provided by the ESG division. Now let's see that how you can operate with the solution. For this, first we need to talk about the terminologies. MSP or MSSP is the managed security service provider or the managed service provider. This is the entity. This entity maintain the customer tenants and provide a professional service. The PCC, the Partner Command Center, is the software as a service solution, and this portal used by the MSSP partner. And here you see the visualization of the onboarding. So we have a MSP partner. Here they have a customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, customer X. They are using products from the ESG portfolio. Customer 1, in our case, using the SaaS Complete, CloudSwig, Cloud Proxy, and the ZTNA solution. Customer 2 is using only the CloudSwig solution, the Cloud Proxy solution. So the first step, part of the onboarding, that we are delivering the PCC portal, Partner Command Center portal. And then on our portal, this is a dedicated portal in the background, the channel team creates a link between the PCC portal and the customers. So this will give you the opportunity that from the PCC portal, if the MSSP partner employee is logging in, they will see the customer information, the customer name, and this behind they will see the services. But I talk about a lot of that how is working on the presentation level. Now let's see that how is working on the console level. Here you see the portal. After I log in, this is the main page. Here you see the list of the customer accounts. Because this is a demo tenant, you see only just 2 companies, but naturally, if you have a 100, you will see here all of your customer. And if you have more than 100, then you can through the pagination, you can switch between the pages. And after the login, you will see the initial information about your customers. This is a demo environment, but I try to show you all of the use case. In this example, the MBCom technologies is active, but the MySec entity, under the MySec entity, all license expired. So this is a good opportunity to you to see that how many license need to be renewed, what type of license assigned to the customer. And if you want to manage, with a simple click, you can check that this customer has an enterprise console, the CloudSwig, and the Symantec Endpoint Security. And if I go to the account details, then under the customer page, let's say account details, you will see the additional details of this customer. You will see the ERP account, you will see the software as a service account ID. Sometimes to renew the license, it can be important. Then if I scroll, then you will see the subscription, how many subscriptions are assigned to this customer. As you see, much more service appear here than in the deployed products. Why? Because I didn't deploy, for example, the DLP cloud solution. If I scroll down more, here you see the domains. This is an environment. So for example, the enterprise console deployed in the United States, but the CloudSwig, the additional enterprise console, and the Symantec endpoint protection implemented in the EU data center of Broadcom. So here you can get the high-level overview that how many environment deployed for the customer. If I scroll down more, then here you will see that who can have an access to this customer. And let's see an example that what will happen if I hire a new engineer who will, for example, manage the cloud proxy solution. I try to open the console just to show you that how it's working if I want to manage the customer tenant. As you see, with one single click, and thanks to the single sign-on solution, the system automatically will authenticate me on the CloudSwig Cloud Proxy Management Console. Here you see. This is the MBCom Technologies. Here you see my name. I am the administrator. And what I want to show you here, that if I go to the administrators, then here you see the list of the admins. You don't need to memorize, you don't need to recognize the user, but I want to show you that because on the Partner Command Center, I have a full administrator right to the customer tenants. If I create a new user here, for example, selecting the MBCom Technologies MSP, within this I can select the CloudSwig. As first name, I type MSP webinar. Last name demo. The email is mspwebinar@mbcom.com. This email address is not created, but from today we won't use this user, and this will be the cloud proxy administrator, for example. I click to the save. The system will create a user, and through the API connection in the background, we'll create a user on the proxy side. So if I refresh the page, theoretically, immediately we will see the new user, where the name mspwebinar@mbcom.com. You see stars at the first name and the last name. This means that this employee, this user account never was used, but If I log in, then the system automatically will show the first name and the last name. But initially you see the email address, so the system created a new user. So this is how easy to delegate the new permission or the new access to the customer tenant. And in this case, because I selected only the MBCom technologies, this user created only in the dedicated customer tenant and in the dedicated product. So for example, if I am opening the Symantec Endpoint Security, this user won't be here. And as you see, the Cloud SIG administrator delegated only the user, no other product assigned to this employee. Naturally, I can use the Enterprise console also, and I can give a Enterprise console access to the employee. If you work with the Symantec solution, you know, but some partner, maybe for some partner, this is a new information. Through the Enterprise console, you can manage all product. So in the past, if you wanted to manage the DLP Cloud or the SaaS Complete or the Cloud SIG, every product has a dedicated console. Naturally, this console is still available, but some customer more like the single agent, single console solution. So for them, the Enterprise console is the additional option. And from here, as you see, I can click to the web security. Under the web security, I can go to the settings, I can go to the administrator. So basically, I will see the same content, like in case of the dedicated console. But again, this is the additional feature for the customer, and this is independent from the partner command center system. So you can manage from the Enterprise console also, and here you see the MSP webinar user. So you can use the single console also if you more prefer to use this management option. And I talk about the audit. If I go to the settings, naturally, the system, the Cloud SIG itself, by default, logging and continuously following that what the employees made, how they changed the configuration, and how they managed itself the solution. But I mentioned that we are providing this feature because of because some MSP partners need to provide a compliancy level. We can talk about GDPR, we can talk about NIS2. We are continuously monitoring what the employees made in the partner command center. So if I select the audit history, then here you see that Kálmán Makai logged into the console. I opened the Enterprise console. I added a new user. So basically all of the action, and naturally you can search, you can filter. So you can trace back that your employees what made in the console and how they changed, for example, the configuration. As you see, not too much menu available in the partner command center. So you can manage your accounts. You can add the user. What means this? Who can have an access to the partner command center? By default, typically the technical people can log in, because if they assigned to the customers, then it's easy for them to log into the partner command center and from here directly jumping to the product. We can talk about the audit history and we can talk about the API credentials. Why is important? Because the system is supporting the REST API. So if you have any automated system, we have a documented API command set. So you can create a bridge between your automatization system or any other target system which is using the REST API, and you can instruct the partner command center to give you information or change something in the configuration. It's depending on that what you want. Itself, the system is documented very well. If you are curious, then my recommendation to open the documentation and go through this. So this is the partner command center. Now let's go back and let's see itself the onboarding, how it's working. So we created for you, we ordered for you the MSSP portal, and then you will receive the email that from that time you can log in and you can use the partner command center. And again, on the beginning, this is the empty system. So basically you can log in, you can look around, you can check the menus, and that's all. Then the next stage, you need to negotiate that who is your customer. You need to give the customer list, or after we deliver the license, you need to continuously inform us if you created a new customer and you assigned the licenses to these customers. Here you see that how we can handle this because of the privacy or protecting the MSSP partner names. I hide the list. So on the top you see only the CM and FZLSC. So in my example, I have a MBCom Technologies. This is the customer, and I assign a managing partner. Normal case, you don't need to worry about. This is just a background information for you that the assignment happens by us. So we need to get the information that who is the customer and what type of product will be managed by you. By default, typically all product will be managed by you. And then about the summary, this is a notification that after we submit the request, the opposite side will receive a notification that they want to approve this request or not. Because you are an MSSP partner, you will receive this notification. But again, we are a security company, so we need a confirmation that yes, I know that what I want to do, and I permit the access, the administrator access to the affected tenant. Here you see the email. This is a notification email. But naturally, if you are logging in into the portal, you will see that how many requests came to you. And then you can reject or you can approve all of the requests, or one you can approve. It's depending on you that how you want to handle this. After the approval done, then the MSP partner can manage the tenant. So in the list, you will see the MBCom Technologies. Say this is the in our case, this is the customer, and from that time you can manage. How you can control the management request? Because what will happen if you give us a 50 customer that we need to create a bridge between your MSP portal and the customer tenants. So here you see under the customer accounts, you see the activated and the linked customer. Under the management request, you can check the status of the request. And I created an example for you that in case of the MySec and the MBCom Technologies, it's approved. So this is why we see under the customer accounts. But in case of the CE MENA, it's pending. So this is a task for the owner, MSSP partner, as an owner, or for the customer to approve the request. Until this, it will be pending. So this is the way that how you can control, and optionally we can contact with us and we can help you to move out the customer tenant from this stage, or you need to inform your customer that, hey, Mr. or Miss Customer, please approve the request because without this, we cannot give you the service. So everything is depending on the service model. We can talk about the new MSSP partner with new customers. In this case, it's easy because you will handle the request. But because we have a lot of partners who is providing the MSP without using MSP Portal, a service for their customer. So in this case, maybe they need to negotiate with the customer that need an approval in case of the connection request. So this is about the console. Now let's see the typical questions which is coming from the partners. Who entitled on the license paper? License paper, in this case, the co-prod email, the customer. Why? Because this is a compliance question. Broadcom always want to know that who is using the solution. So you can be an MSP partner, but itself the license will be created for the customer. But the contact person, the email, is always the MSP partner. So this will give you the assurance that if you initiate the connection to the customer tenant, you will receive the notification and you can onboard, we can onboard together smoothly the customer tenant. What will happen if you have a customer and they want to move because another MSP partner is giving better price or they're not satisfied with the solution? What will happen in this case? The license, the tenant, the created environment and the configuration, which is your know-how because you are continuously working, you are developing and you are changing the configuration, and the logs belong to the MSSP partner. What means this? If the customer want to move, okay, they can move. They can select a different MSP partner, or they can purchase in the traditional licensing model the licenses, so they can start the journey without involving any MSP partner. But in this case, they need to start from scratch. Somewhere this is a protection for the partners because the customer cannot move if another MSP partner is cheaper with €1 or something like that. This is just a wide example, naturally, so I am just kidding. But itself, for the customer, the movement to replacing the MSP partner is not easy because they cannot move the configuration. They cannot export the configuration. Normal case, itself, the customer doesn't have an administrator access to the tenant because the MSP provider giving the service that they manage everything. They have an administrator right, and normal case, they are not delegating administrator right, not giving an access to the customer. So the customer in this case need to overview that, okay, if I am moving then, and I need to rebuild from scratch, then it's cheaper for me or not. And the third question, typical question is, but naturally, you please use the chat window if you have any question. Feel free to ask me. But who delivered the license? Nothing changed comparing to the traditional license model. So it means that if you need additional license or you need to renew your license, naturally that you need to go to your distributor and the distributor will do. So we are not bypassing the distributors, itself the chain, the business model is 100% same. But in this case, the distributor will know your discount level, so automatically will apply the necessary discount level. If, for example, you are ordering more license or renewing, or you figure out that you want to provide not just a Symantec endpoint protection, you want to provide from tomorrow the CloudSwig solution also, and through this, the distributor will deliver for you the licenses. So this is on my side, what I want to share with you regarding the MSSP portal and how the onboarding and how the business model is working. If you're curious about the online documentation, here you see the URL. Feel free to open, feel free to browse, because through this you can get more impression that what type of features available on the console. And let me to switch now to the chat window because unfortunately I don't see the console. And let's see, is any question cream? Is there a minimum number of certified engineers at the partner side? Yes, but I cannot tell you the details because it's depending that how many product used handled by you. So this is the typical situation when we need to sit down and part of the let me to go back to the related slide. Okay, and I share my screen again. So here the typical answer or the by default answer, additional terms and condition. So no pre-created policy, no pre-created requirement level, because every partner is different. Every business model is different. So because of this, we keep the flexibility. And this is why I mentioned that the minimum $100K annual commitment is not a mandatory number. This is a baseline number. So we need to sit down and we need to negotiate. And together, believe me, we will figure out the final solution and the final numbers and the final contract terms. You can onboard as an MSP and you can provide the service for your customers. This is the long answer to your question. But what is the licensing model? Wait a minute. I cannot open the chat window. Okay, so I need to start the screen sharing. What is the licensing model, monthly, yearly, or consumption-based? Need to sit down. And we can figure out together the payment terms, because here the payment terms is the question. So just imagine that a wide example, okay? And this is just an example. You declare that you will sell in the next 1 year 1,000 SaaS complete license. Option 1, you are buying the wall and all number of the license, or as the customers are coming, you are ordering first the 10, because only just 10 license needed for the first customer, then 100 because the next customer require 100 license. So need to sit down and we can figure out that how we can handle this. And this behind on your side, you can decide, but this is absolutely up to you, that how you are charging your customer. Because don't forget, you're not just selling the license, you are selling the service. So at the end of the day, if you create an invoice for your customer, you're not just charging the customer with the license fee, you include your your service fee also. This is absolutely out of scope for us. And this is a flexibility, or this is a competition on the field, because if you have a big discount level, because you are sure that you will sell, for example, 10K or 50K license on the field, because you have a huge customer set. Moreover, you have a professional team and you can keep on the optimal level, so not oversized. Then maybe you can be very, very competitive on the field comparing to another MSP partner who only make a commitment about 1,000 license. And for example, the stuff is much more bigger because they cannot optimize or they cannot find the right people on the field. So a lot of variation can be on the field. This is not black or white. So this is why I mentioned we need to sit down and we need to negotiate. Please advise how apply for the new partnership and enroll. Contact with me, please. Okay, so if you want to be a partner, because for example, you are not a Symantec partner, then please contact with me. Let me to switch my camera view to my contact information. Here you see. I hope you see. Not yet. Now you see my email address. So please send an email to the key.makai@mbcom.com. And I will involve my colleague, because on my side, I am covering the technical things, but from the business side, you can start the discussion with my colleague, Robert Azar, and he can help you onboarding as a Symantec partner. Who owns the license, the partner or the end customer? The partner, 100% the partner. The only specialty of the license that the partner owns the license, but the license assigned or entitled to the customer. So the customer name will be on the license paper. But again, this is a compliancy question. In the background, naturally, the company the MSSP partner will own. And if the customer terminate the contract with the MSP partner, then the partner get back the licenses. Okay, we can add license during the subscription for the same customer/product. Yes, so if you buy upfront the number of the licenses, then theoretically you can do, but please let me to discuss internally with my colleagues because maybe is not always possible. So if you're talking about the environments, some system, for example, supporting the shared license option. And depending on the type of the implementation, you can use this option. But if you are keep separately, then in this case, it's not 100% that you can do. In this case, you need to involve us, and we can increase the number of the license depending on the contract. Can the new MSP onboard an existing active end-user subscription on his portal? Yes, yes. But in this case, again, we need to talk with each other at how we will handle the licenses, because at this stage, the customer paid for the license, they are entitled for the license. So maybe part of the renewal itself, the new renewed license will moved to the MSP officially. But for example, in case of the commitment, we need to be able to calculate that how many licenses belong to the MSP partner. So we need to get the visibility that the old customer, which is assigned to the MSP partner, how many licenses used by the customer. Apart from the license discount, what else the benefit for the end customer? I understand the benefit for the partner. Look, for the customer, the additional benefit, if they are cooperating with the MSP partner, because we are requiring the certification, the customer can be sure that the provider has enough good knowledge about the solution, because on the field it's absolute hybrid. So some partner just transacting, so they are just ordering the license from the distributor, delivering the customer, and the customer can implement, and everything is depending on the customer that how they can use the solution. So the MSP give the insurance for the customer that the provider is enough good, or maybe the best on the field. They can configure according to the solution. They continuously update the knowledge. Moreover, in the background, because we are talking about a serious partners in this case, much more easier, they can support the solution. I didn't show for you, but there is a special option in the system. Let me share my screen quickly, but we overrun on the negotiated time, so I just will show you on the high level. Naturally, the system dropped me out, so I need to authenticate myself. So you have an option to put the issue to the fast track, because you know that by default the support need to ask the basic questions just to clear out the user error or partner error or implementation error or the basic problems, which is not affecting the customer naturally, but not a bug. So if I go to the account details, then I can request a support access. So from here, I can put the customer to the fast track. You see, actually, this is grayed out because it's not configured in my case, but the support access can be much more faster and gives a much more faster solution delivery for you and for the customer, naturally. So for the customer, the additional benefit is the knowledge and the trust that you will be a trusted advisor and can be sure that you can configure according to the system, and give the benefit that the price maybe will be much more better just comparing to the traditional model, because if they are ordering from you a 10 license, maybe you won't get a discount, or the discount level will be much more less than comparing to the MSSP partnership. And this is depending on you, that you are applying or you are forwarding this discount benefit for your customer or not. So on the high level, these are the justification, but naturally, if you have more time, I can tell you more and more example about this. What are the possibilities if another partner take over an existing customer from an existing one? As I mentioned, this is a security settings that we are initiating. So without any negotiation with you, nobody can hijacking the tenants. So this is a security option. And because the tenant owner, and in this case, the MSP partner, received a notification that, for example, let's talk about the worst case, that, for example, we are linking to another MSP. They are receiving a notification. So in this case, the tenant owner can figure out that this is a hijacking, this is a pirate activity, illegal activity, or the customer simply want to move. Normal case, we are not supporting this type of activity, because, as I mentioned, the license belong to the customer, so it's not possible to hand over the tenant from the MSSP A to the MSSP B. So it cannot happen, normal case. In terms of deployment, if the customer moves from one MSSP to another, how is the transition handled? Look, the customer is contracting with the MSP B, the new partner, and then this new partner will give the license for the customer. Here, what we need to clarify, because there is some dependency. For example, if the cloud is using a fixed IP address. So some dependencies there. In the background, we are discussing with the colleagues that how we can avoid this type of issues, because under the cloud secure web gateway, you can create, for example, a site. And if you assign to the site a fixed IP address, then you cannot use this fixed IP address in another tenant. So continue itself the situation. If the MSP A doesn't delete the tenant or doesn't delete the configuration, it can be an issue, but we are talking about the contracted partners. So we are not talking about the registered partners where, for example, the phone number is not working or hard to reach them. So we are talking about the serious MSP partners. So in this case, we can handle this type of issues. So we can talk with the MSP E, at what they need to do if they didn't do, and then the customer can onboard at MSP B. So I don't see here any risk, because MSP partners are very, very serious, and we have a continuous connection with them. Okay, I don't see any additional question. I hope I didn't skip any question. Yeah, I think I answered all. If you have any additional question, feel free to contact with me on my email address, and I will answer to you. If you want to go deeper, so if you need more details about the contracting terms, then please contact with me, and I will involve the related colleagues, and you can initiate the discussion with them. And I hope then a lot of partners will join to this service. This is a fresh thing, because itself the MSP portal release beginning of May. So now we started the journey together with the partners. So we are on the beginning of this project, but a lot of partners is coming to us, and it will be a very nice story, because everybody see the benefits of the MSP service. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope the delivered information was useful. As I mentioned, itself the webinar was recorded, so within 1 week, I will share with you the recording link, and keep in touch. Thank you. Bye.